Here's one idea to end the government shutdown, and it's all about pork barrel spending. Dave Williams is the president of the Taxpayers Protection Alliance, and he's here to try, emphasis on try, to prove me wrong. All right, Dave, here it is. This is my conceit. If we still had earmarks, which are banned when Republicans took over Congress in 2010, if we still had earmarks, John Boehner would have the power to convince some of these 40 or 45 people to be behind a plan he wanted, as opposed to them being sort of off on their own, a rump group. Prove me wrong.
Okay. If we would have had this discussion in 2005 or 2006, I may agree with you. I don't agree with you now because Congress is markedly different and earmarks are markedly different. Here's what happened. Earmarks fell out of favor with the American public and with politicians. Politicians were forced to not like earmarks anymore. You look at the House.
Yeah, you're totally. I will say that they did not just come to this earmark ban. This was something that sort of became a symbol of why Congress was back.
They want their earmarks back. The American public isn't allowing them to have their earmarks back. And if they come back, there's still a lot of transparency issues. In 2008, the House leadership said, and the Senate said, okay, if you're going to get an earmark, you're putting your name right next to it. So let's look at what's happening today with Obamacare and the shutdown. There is no way the Tea Party is going to be bought off with any earmarks. And that's really the problem, is that we're talking about a group of fiscal conservatives, hardcore fiscal conservatives that have shut the government down, that want Obamacare to go away. You're not going to buy them with a bridge to nowhere or a teapot museum.
Would not earmarking help pass more bills? Maybe, I take your point on the shutdown, but would it not help maybe some lower profile bills get through where you need 3, 4, 5 votes? I think back to the Medicare prescription drug bill of the early 2000s.
An absolute abomination.
But you would agree with me, never would have passed if earmarking had been banned. And
oh, yeah. Well, that would have been a great thing if the Medicare bill never went through. So, yes, we could see a lot of bills be pushed through Congress, a lot of earmarks. But guess what? These bills may not be good. They may increase spending.
Bills passing does not equal good necessarily.
Absolutely, it doesn't equal that. So I think that's the problem here. And we look at what earmarks did to this country. It had a huge corrupting influence. We had Republicans and Democrats in jail. We had a lobbyist in jail for 3 or 4 years. So this was a dark time of our history. And I don't think taxpayers want to see that dark time come back again with earmarks. We already have enough problems with Obamacare.
And I think your point on the Tea Party, I'm willing to admit potential wrongs here, which is that these are not people who $200,000 or $2 million to have a road named after you. That's not what they're interested in, right?
It's absolutely not what they're interested in. And can you imagine the Club for Growth and these, these other entities?
Brouhaha.
Once Republicans start getting earmarks, it's all over. We're going to see more primaries. We're going to see more Tea Partiers probably come into the House. So, boy, it would have the opposite effect, and it would really make a lot of people mad.
Thank you, sir. I think you might have proved me wrong. I'm going to have to get a little bit stronger on my next defense. Thanks for coming in.
You bet. Yep.